your August forecast for 2015. And, you know, I'm trying to get the niche of how I want to do my readings. I do daily readings, and so I don't think I need to go as hardcore into these energies as to tell you where these energies will affect you in your chart. And then when you listen to the planets that are at play or the energies that are at play, you'll know which houses to refer to. And I think that's really important. So I want to talk about the predominant energies in this month for you specifically. Now, Mars, your ruler, is going to go out of Cancer and it's going to go into Leo on the 8th. And this is going to be in your 5th house. Now, your 5th house represents, you know, it's the house of pleasure, it's the house of creativity, it's the house of romance, it's the house of, you know, risk-taking, it's the house of love affairs, it's the house of just getting back to what pleases you. Mars is going to put the passion back in that area. Now, I do want to emphasize, I do have a Mars in Leo. And so I kind of have like a PhD because I'm 44 in this energy. So what this energy is going to do to you at times, because you're an Aries, which is already, you know, an ego-oriented sign, Mars coming into your ruler in Leo in the 5th house is going to make you very assertive when it comes to romantic endeavors or romantic gestures. You're going to feel kind of on the top of your game. You're going to feel highly desirable, although you never have had a problem with that because, you know, it's not that, you know, Aries never have problems with feeling desirable whatsoever, but you guys are going to start to feel really robust. The sun is going to essentially shine in the areas that you specifically it will give you an ego boost. So this will be, you know, a really good energizing month for you to just get back some of the power issues that you've had in the past if you have not already done that. Another substantial energy that I want you to understand is that Jupiter is going to be leaving Leo and it's going to go into Virgo. And this is going to affect your 6th house. And this energy is going to be your Jupiter energy. Anytime you hear me talk about Jupiter, think of your 6th house. You know, think of how it applies. So the 6th house is like, it's like, well, it's the house of enemies, but it's also the house of health and vitality and mental well-being, and it's routine and it's work. And, you know, it's about getting yourself, your physical and mental well-being to match the confidence that you exude. So many of you are boastful, but you're not boastful, but you don't practice what you preach sometimes. So people tend to look at you like, you know, you tell me to do that, but you know what? Look at the lifestyle you live. Now you think they should just live that lifestyle because, well, you're an Aries and Aries says so, so that's the way it goes. But that's not true, and that's not the way that energy works. And so for you, it's going to be about putting your money where your mouth is. And so you're going to find that for some reason you have a strong personal desire to want to spruce up your appearance, to want to get your physical health back on track. I think for quite some time, you know, many of these Aries that I have talked to, when you get your ego stripped down, there's not much to cling to, especially when you're talking about this young of a sign. And so you've been trying to restore that vitality that you've had, but yet I feel like some of you are like going at a slower pace than you can possibly desire. Now, that had to do with the fact that your ruling planet was in a debilitated state. Well, it's not anymore. It's going to go into Leo. It likes being in Leo. It's a fierce energy. It's a fellow fire energy. So your ruler is going to get back on track and get back up to speed, and you're going to start to feel like more of your old self. You're not going to feel like your energy is off or debilitated any longer. And another thing that is really, really good is, for the longest time now, we have had Saturn sitting in retrograde. It went into retrograde in Sagittarius, and then it went into retrograde in Scorpio, which has been a really hard energy to take. Most of us have had some karmic pull in the month of July, but in August, we get to get away from that karmic pull in such a dark area. It doesn't mean that Saturn still doesn't work on you, because Saturn is always there. It's always working on you. And for you, it's going to be in your 8th house. So the general theme for this month for you is, I think, transformation in your mental well-being, in your physical well-being, you're going to get back to the basics. You're going to get caught up on, all of these years of what's pulled you down. I think you're going to have the building blocks to start to manifest the change that you're looking for. This month to me feels very, very strong. We need Mars to be at full speed ahead, because, quite frankly, all of us need more passion in our lives, and we need it to be in fire. When it goes into water, like it has been, it's just been I think many of us wanted to move forward, but when your ruler was debilitated, I think it was just really difficult for all of us to know which way we wanted it to move forward. And that is the lovely bit about this energy, is I think we're going to get a great awakening once your ruler gets back, fully fired up and zesty. You're going to feel like a little hot tamale again. You're going to feel like you've got your groove back on. And there is nothing sweeter than when you look at a really fun, confident Aries. When Aries is in a debilitated state, it sinks to the lower vibration of the energies. So you may have had more confrontations. You may have felt more combative. You may have felt more, and these may have been more on an emotional level than you're normally used to. But thankfully, this energy is passing, and I'm just happy to say that most of the things that have been pulling us backward and causing us to really have a hard time is, switching energies. Now, Venus still is in retrograde, and it is going to be in Leo. So, again, I see this energy as not being in debilitated Virgo. So, again, we're going out of yet another debilitated energy, going into an energy that can really recover a lot more easily than when you have an energy sitting in a debilitated state. We're going to see that Venus is going to just is going to be able to have the determination and the willpower and the passion to overcome some of the issues that come up in relationships, in financial endeavors, in partnering, in creativity. It's going to put the energies in the right place we need this time to reevaluate all of those areas. Absolutely. And it's going to test all of those areas. We're not done yet. So understand that we're still subject to, the questions of whether or not these relationships or that creative endeavor or that financial opportunity or that financial risk was worth it. Or, we're still, we're not going to be out there making really big purchases because, Venus isn't feeling up to par. And if you do make a big purchase, it's definitely not the time still, because you could end up having to take it back or possibly lose the investment, if it's like a second home or a second vacation home or something pleasurable. So I still say stay away from those energies, even though Venus is no longer sitting in the debilitated Virgo. So let's look at the important dates for this month. Of course, I said on the 1st, Saturn is going to go direct and it's going to be in your 8th house. So again, I think we're looking at more of a transformation energy. I think you had a lot revealed to you in Scorpio, in this last little Scorpio transit, when it brought up all those issues from 2012 to 2014, all the vulnerability, all of the reality checks from that. And if you came out pretty unscathed, then I think you're going to start to feel what it's like to have Saturn go direct and have it be more beneficial in the areas of transformation. And so for you, I think combined resources, I think, if you had a death or a loss, I feel like you're going to be able to deal with that better. You're going to find the perseverance and the strength through your ruler to get through those times. I think that if you found that a relationship started to flounder, or something was brought up from the past that made it start to flounder, I think that you can work on transforming that relationship, or getting completely out of the relationship and saying enough is enough. Like, I have the confidence to move forward and get what I want. I think the week of the first couple weeks, we're going to have some difficult aspects. Saturn is going to take some negative angles to a lot of energies, and that would be in Venus and Mercury and in Jupiter. And so I think we might have to deal with some home and health issues, some mental well-being issues. I think we're going to have to, if we're trying to do too much too soon, if we really get fired up and we want to start like this big fitness program, or if we want to, conquer some big mental well-being goal, I think you're going to find that it's challenged and it's just testing whether or not you should persevere. Because Saturn is in there, again, testing and tweaking you and, wanting you to bite off more than you can chew so it can, give you a karmic lesson. And I'm not saying that it's malefic and it's in there to hurt you, but I'm saying that it likes to get in there and find the nitty-gritty about what's going on in your life. And so it's going to give you some obstacles that you need to overcome. But remember, we're talking about this month for you is transformation. So to overcome something, first you have to hurdle it. First you've got to see it. Then you've got to hurdle it. And then you've got to move forward with the gusto of all of this fire energy in your ruling planet. And I think in the end, this will make you stronger. On the 11th, Jupiter is going to go into Virgo in your 6th house. So I really want to talk a little bit more about Jupiter in Virgo. Ideally, this is not a sweet spot for Jupiter. Jupiter is a very benefic planet. It really doesn't want to analytically think everything out. It just wants to bless you and go with it. It's a very risk-taking planet. And so it's sitting in this accountability, service to others, where Jupiter is more about receiving for personal gain. But in this particular energy, it's more about you will only get the gifts of Jupiter if you do things that benefit others. So you have to take in consideration your responsibility to others, which is why I think there is such a big emphasis in this 6th house. You've got to figure out who your enemies are. You've got to figure out who is not working in your best benefit. And then you have to dissolve those relationships or dissolve those partnerships, or you have to see them for what they are, so that you can be the strongest you. So it could expand some emotional situations. You could start to feel like your world falls apart before it gets better, because, Jupiter is going to go in there and it's going to expand where the cracks are, right? If there's a tiny crack and then you sit on it, it's going to break, right? That is kind of what Jupiter may do the first part of this transit. Now remember, Jupiter is going to be in your 6th house for 12 months. And so you may have some tweaking to do in that area. There is a new moon on the 14th in Leo, and this is going to be in your 5th house. Now, this is a lovely new moon. We don't have any very difficult aspects. We have had several new moons that have been completely afflicted. But this is like our first moon, our first fresh air moon, where it actually stands for a new beginning. It's not a new beginning based on an obstacle or an opposition. It's a new beginning based on the fact that the energy is ripe for the picking, and it's time to plant seeds that we can harvest for the year to come. And this is in a fellow fire sign for you. So this is going to be a really delicious moon. It's going to have just so much energy and making you want to persevere, move forward. You're going to be feeling romantic. You're going to be feeling more sexually motivated. You're going to be feeling like you want to be passionate about something. Okay, fine. If you're not interested in sex, if you're just too old for that, you're done with that game, then it's going to make you want to embark on a creative endeavor that ignites that passion and creativity in your life. And it's going to do it with a vigor. You may feel some signs, or you may get like a holy cow or a eureka idea right around this beautiful new moon that will make you want to just become more authentic and creative. On the 29th, we're going to have a full moon in Pisces, and this is going to be in your 12th house. Now, thankfully, Neptune is in here in a really harmonious conversation with this full moon. Now, we have a full moon in a very, very deep energy, which is Pisces. So this is a very old and wise energy, and it is going to be working harmoniously with Neptune, its ruler. So you are going to be feeling dreamy. You're going to be idealizing situations. You may want to make ideal goals that you will set for the next, 4 weeks to come. Now, there's a lot, yes, a full moon could bring an accumulation to a situation that, was not authentic. Something may be revealed to you. Now, remember, Neptune's in retrograde, so it's wanting you to see things for what they are. Now, yes, it is an idea. It is an energy that likes to idealize everything. So you're going to be idealizing things based on actual reality, but it's going to have this dreamy, watery feel to it, and it's very strong in this moon. And so you may, if it were me and I had this energy in my sun or my rising, I would then sit down and spend a lot of time behind the scenes working through this. This may make you sleepy. It may make you tired. You are going to be incredibly intuitive on this moon. Everybody is. It's going to be like you have spidey senses you didn't even know you have. It's going to open your eyes to realms that maybe you're not entirely comfortable with, or that you have no rationale for. But there is going to be something about this moon. Look for messages in your dreams. Look for messages through signs. This is a spiritual energy. This is a very deep energy. So this isn't going to be a logic-based energy that you can just rationally and tangibly look at. This is going to be something coming to you from a source higher than you. And I really want you to explore it. Write it down. I don't want you to act on it quite yet, although that will be difficult for you, because you guys, once you get something in you, you just like want to act on it, and you want to act on it now. But I just really believe that you guys are going to get a revelation. This is a glorious month. There is a lot of good energy. Is there more energy to talk about this month in more days? Yes, but I go into them in the dailies. The key that I want you to remember always is when I'm talking about predominant energies, so that when I talk to you in the dailies, you're going to be like, oh, my sun is squaring off on this day with Saturn. Well, your sun is going to be in your fifth house. So you're going to know, oh, so the sun for me is in my fifth house and it's squaring Saturn, and Saturn for you is in your eighth house. And so you are going to be able to put that connection together yourself. I don't need to do individual horoscopes based on your sun signs, because honestly, I believe that there's so much more to astrology than sun sign horoscopes, but there is a powerful message to be delivered through sun sign horoscopes, which is why I do them. But for the most part, guys, you know, I do go through every day's energy. I tell you the vibe. I feel it. I am an empath, so that I want you to really understand day by day energy. But let's talk about predominant energies. You have the Sun, Venus, and Mars all in Leo in your 5th house. So remember that. You have Saturn in your 8th house. You have Jupiter in your 6th house. And you have Venus in your 5th house. So those are a lot of the power players. Your new moon's going to be in the 5th house, and your full moon is going to be in the 12th house. So if you guys just listen to my dailies and apply all of these, you know, energies and their houses to you and your personal chart, then you are going to have it's going to resonate a lot more with you. I hope you have a fantastic August. This looks to be a great month for you. I'm not saying that the month isn't going to have challenges, because I can guarantee it, because I happen to know that the energies are all building towards something very, very big that's going to be happening next month. But I'm not going to let you in on that secret, so you'll come watch me next month. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I look forward to talking to you guys again next month.